Well, hello there, traveller. Coming in from the cold. We've got a nice warm fire going.
Welcome to the Hearth and Tome tavern. Can I pour you a cup of something hot?
We've also got some wonderful books here if you're interested. After all, there's nothing better than curling up by the fire with a hot drink and a good book.
It's true, and we've been reading some really good books lately. So why not pull up a chair and let us tell you all about them? Hello and welcome back to the Hearth and Tome podcast, a monthly book club hosted by me, Eve Handyside. I go by any pronouns.
And me, Phoenix Arden. I use they, them pronouns. Welcome back to the Hearth and Tome Tavern. This month, we're discussing Bookshops and Bonedust by Travis Baldree.
I'm so excited!
We are so excited. We have been waiting to do this. We both read this book first in May?
The Ark.
April, May sort
the
of
Ark
time.
gods.
Because we got the Ark.
The Ark gods knew we wanted this real bad.
By which we mean that our boss at the bookshop, emailed Pan Macmillan and basically begged them to send us an Ark. And they did!
MVPs.
Yeah. So yeah, we have been wanting to talk about this on this podcast for quite some time. And we thought it would be the ideal last book club before Christmas because it is so cool.
It is the best book, I think, this year. I'm not even kidding.
I'm pretty sure it's my highest.
It is my highest of the year and on the podcast.
It's my highest.
It's
my highest on the podcast. I'm not gonna definitively say whether it's my highest of the year because more books might be read that are better.
There's a month left for me to finish more books.
It's one of a few books that this year that I have given 5 stars to.
I think I've given out a lot of 5 stars this year, actually.
I don't know if I could pick a favourite just yet.
I know this is up there. This is top 3 of the year. So this is one.
Yeah.
It's perfection. It's so good.
Yeah, safe to say we loved it. It's a significant improvement over last month's book.
Don't mention the crime.
The terrors.
The war.
So, how do we do this
We're
again?
gonna say a description of what the book is first. Which is...
Yep. That's what we do.
It's been a while. This book is the prequel to the pinnacle of cozy fantasy books, Legends and Lattes. This takes place, is it 20 years before?
It is indeed 20 years before Legends and Lattes. So this is baby Viv.
This is,
not literally.
This is smooth Viv.
She's not literally. But this is Viv. She has just started adventuring.
With Rackham's Ravens.
And she is with Rackham's Ravens, which is this prestigious adventuring group. And they are hunting down Varine, who is a necromancer, very dangerous, powerful necromancer. And Viv gets a little bit carried away. She gets a little bit overconfident, and she ends up injured. She gets stabbed through the leg or something. And so Rackham, the dwarf who leads Rackham's Ravens, decides to leave her to recuperate in the small seaside town Merk.
The best place on earth. A little seaside town. Oh, I loved it. I loved it so much.
It's super sleepy, super quiet.
Pirate vibes.
Very much not Viv's speed at all.
She's used to the great outdoors and the forests and danger, and yet she's in this tiny
being
town.
Able to walk.
In the middle of nowhere. So... yeah.
Yeah, and she finds herself sucked into a bookshop.
Because she breaks a step going into the bookshop,
Yep.
and then she goes back to repair it, and then she keeps going back every single day and making friends with the owner, Fern, and the baby girl, Pot Roast, the owl.
Oh, we love Pot
the owl
Roast.
cub.
He's not an owl.
I can't remember the word, the owl cub. Owl.
He's a
Griffith. I'm an idiot. I'm writing that down.
Which is basically it's sort of like a dog version of a griffin, I guess. It's part bird, part dog, all adorable.
A little baby who sheds quite a lot.
We love
We love them so much.
Yeah, and then as while she's recovering, she helps out around the bookshop a bit. She has a bit of a summer fling with Maylie, who is a baker who used to also be an adventurer. And of course there is some mysterious goings on involving a stranger cloaked in grey.
This was such a step up from Legends and Lattes. That's all I'll say. It's
absolutely.
The mystery in this was top tier.
We both loved Legends and Lattes, but this felt like Travis Baldree really refined things. It's a significant improvement.
He really ran with it, and it's just perfect. Literally. And he wasn't even working on this one originally. He was working on a different story and then switched to this. Because it was originally going to be a mage story that we were going to get, but then we got this beautiful thing. So I'm so happy that he made the switch to this.
And we know as well that he is working or has a deal for 3 more books set in this universe, but not necessarily about Viv.
I'm okay with that.
So that's
I'm A-okay with that. I just want a little short story between.
I will be very happy with 3 more Travis Baldree cozy fantasies.
Who wouldn't be?
And Pan Macmillan, if you feel like giving him even more, that would be great.
Exactly. Pan Macmillan, if you want to bring him here, that would be great.
Oh.
I would love that.
Pan Macmillan, if you want to, let go on our podcast,
that'd be great. Let's harass him.
We might cry.
We will cry. We will cry. I will cry.
Anyway.
But yeah.
Obviously, from this point on, there are spoilers for Bookshops and Bonedust.
And Legends of Lattes.
And Legends and Lattes. Make sure you go read both of them. They are adorable. They are so cozy. They're fantastic. And they won't take you long.
They really won't. You'll be sucked in and you'll read them instantly. They're the greatest.
Yeah.
Greatest. Once again, we are using the Caw Pile system. Phoenix, do you want to talk us through that?
Yes.
I always get it wrong.
So, Caw Pile is a book rating system where you break the book down into 7 different categories, give them all a score out of 10, add the scores up and divide by 7, and you get like an average score. The 7 categories are characters, atmosphere, writing style, plot, intrigue, logic, and enjoyment.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So, Eve, what was your average score for Bookshops and Bonedust?
Well, Phoenix, we both read this twice. You said before we recorded that you didn't bump your rating. I did. Mine went from a 9 to a 9.7.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Mine was a 9.6 already, and it still is.
Oh, perfect. We loved it. It was so good. Also,
is this
what?
How many times now have you rated a book higher than me?
Twice?
I think so.
I think it's this and Wizard's Guide.
Camp Damascus.
Oh, then 3. What did you rate a Wizard's
3.
Guide? Wizard's Guide. Real quick.
8.6.
9.14.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, it's 3.
And I also gave Camp Damascus an 8.6.
Camp Damascus. 8.2. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. So it's 2.
So it's 2.
It's 2. It's 2.
Anyway.
But I adored this was fantastic. If you can
absolutely
listen to the audiobook, do, because he reads it himself and he does little voices. And Fern and Galena's voice are like the best thing I've ever heard in my life. They're so squeaky.
Yeah, because he was an audiobook narrator before he wrote Legends and Lattes. That is his he still narrates audiobooks, I think.
Yeah.
Even though he's writing his own now as well.
I know, that's so cool.
I always like it when people get to narrate their own audiobooks.
Right.
Because I feel like nobody other than them is going to have a better image in their head of what people should sound like. So
exactly.
It makes me happy.
And
okay.
Just fantastic little voices, especially on 2 times speed when it's really fast and squeaky.
Should we jump right in?
Yes, let's do this.
Let's start off with characters. I gave it a 10.
Same. Woo!
I love literally every character in this book.
Yeah.
They are all, well, with the exception of the man in grey whose name I can't remember.
Is he got a name? I don't remember.
He does have a name.
Oh, I don't know it. I hated him so much. He kicked pot roast. He could die.
This is why we don't like him.
Yeah. No, but yeah, no, he was awful, but like the rest of the characters I think were like the coziest little perfection. Even the tavern owner who we saw for a whole like 2 sentences. He's a little guy.
Oh, Brand?
Yeah. He's the best.
I remembered his name.
I didn't. He's not in my character list. But
yeah, no, they're all just very good.
They're all just
characters.
Very well-rounded characters. They've all got very interesting backstories. I love all of them. And you can see, because like, if you come from this, reading the sequel, you can see Viv having not learned what she needs to learn that she learns in the next one, in the previous one. I'm going to get muddled up. But you can tell she is like 20 years old in this compared to where she is in
you
Legends
can tell
and Lattes.
that Legends and Lattes Viv still, like, over the course of Legends and Lattes, learns some stuff. Mm-hmm. But I definitely feel like with Bookshops and Bonedust as like backstory,
mm-hmm.
it like adds to that because it gives her like a basis for that learning, right?
Yeah.
Like it gives her something to build on.
Uh-huh.
And you kind of feel like without what happens in this book,
Legends and Lattes wouldn't
she
happen.
would not have ended up with Tandri
Yeah.
in Legends and Lattes.
Yeah. Heartbreaking as
the end
that
of the day,
is,
you know?
but yeah.
Yeah.
It's because she goes from being this like hulking war machine to being kind of like a sweet little book lover, and
Yeah.
she goes to be a very cozy person over the kind of like berserker kind of training that she's had, even though she keeps a lot of it because she's still very passionate about protecting.
Because like, I think it's fair to say that in Bookshops and Bonedust, it like this is the start of her becoming more cozy and less like warrior-y.
Yeah.
But it's also, this is only just the start of her adventuring career as well. So it's really interesting that you can imagine over the 20 years in between how she changes in that time.
Yeah.
And how, again, without what happens in this book, she wouldn't eventually go and open her own coffee shop.
Mm-hmm. And it was such a nice callback at the end of the book to have that letter.
Yeah. There's a little epilogue.
Yeah, and it's the sweetest thing in the world. The wee letter between Fern and Viv where she's like, I have no idea what coffee is, but I like it. And she's so sweet.
It's really nice.
Uh-huh.
I think, like, one of the really strong parts in this book of the characters is that you get such a strong sense of growth by the time you hit the end.
Yeah.
Particularly because of that epilogue.
Yeah.
That epilogue reminds you how much Viv has grown, how much Fern has grown in the time since the events of Bookshops and Bonedust. And it's really sweet because it's like basically the theme of this book is that sometimes you meet people like briefly in your life and they have a huge impact on you, but because of circumstances, because of each of your personal journeys, you don't actually get that much time together in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But they are still so influential in your growth, and that is what this book is about.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful.
It's
like aggressively beautiful. It made me cry both times.
Oh, same. The bad thing was when I was listening to this, it was when I was like driving to uni every morning.
Oh yeah.
And so tears on the motorway isn't the best thing.
Yeah. No.
But like this book is so quotable as well, with the kind of like right people wrong time kind of stuff. Because there was what's the quote? I have it written down. It was because I'm headed up the hill and you're headed up, because I'm headed down the hill and you're headed up it. I'm just glad we chanced to meet along the way. That is the sweetest kind of
It's
quote
so beautiful.
ever.
And I think it's something that everybody who's, lived for any real length of time can relate to.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we've all had that experience where there's been somebody that you might not have spent very much time with, necessarily, but that had a huge impact on who you are and on your growth.
Absolutely.
And I think that makes it hit harder. And that's sort of the whole thing with Viv and Maylee, is
they're so
they're at
sweet.
very different points in their life, and they have such a lovely relationship while it lasts. And they both go into it being like, we know this can't last.
Yeah.
But obviously they still at the end of it have this conversation about the fact that even though they both knew it wouldn't last, neither of them was really ready for it to end.
Yeah. It's still
and it's
very
just-
gut-wrenching for both of them.
It is. It's very gut-wrenching.
Yeah. And I cried when they separated. Like, big time. As much as I loved
Yeah.
Tandre, I wept during that scene.
Absolutely.
Because their cute little dates and Maylee causing Viv to panic 90% of the time was, like,
Yeah.
some of the best moments in the book.
Yeah.
Coming back to, like, I might not be a very big romance person in books, but this was perfection to me.
Absolutely.
This is the kind of romance I want to see when romance is included in books, because it's so healthy.
It's so healthy.
And both of them, and I didn't expect it from, like, people so young in that age, and Viv being quite a strong person. They very much get what they want across to one another. They know this, and they their development with each other and out with each other is just the sweetest thing ever. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the bit where they properly say goodbye to each other
Big. Huge.
is really, it is. And like, because Maylee's like, I'll probably never see you again, but I don't regret any of this.
Yeah.
Like, it hurts right now, but I don't regret it because it was huge for both of us. And I do like that in the epilogue, in the letter that Viv gets from Fern specifically mentions that Maylee is well. She's like, Maylee is well. I think you helped her understand who she needed to find, and then at last she did. I thought you might like to know. And
Right. I need to
Fern
know.
doesn't know, but we know that Viv has also found who she needed to find.
Yeah.
And so that's really
Perfect.
sweet that they've both found what they were looking for
Exactly.
eventually. And it was never fated to be each other. Which is sad but also really beautiful.
I must say I do need a novella for Maylee and their cute little romance. I need it. I need it right now.
Well, maybe that's what we'll get, right? We
I'm
know
ever
we're getting
hopeful.
3 more.
I'm ever hopeful.
I'm hoping we get a Fern one.
I really do hope as well. Oh, that'd be the
As
cutest
well
thing.
in the letter, or after reading the letter, Viv is like, hey, there's that empty
Shop next door.
next to
Yeah.
ours.
Oh.
What do you think about like a bookshop being there? And Fern in her letter mentions like that maybe she'd,
Want to
like
travel.
to be somewhere different again.
Yeah.
So I like the idea that maybe we'll get
Oh.
that as a book. I don't know.
Or Satchel opening a bookshop.
I also, Satchel is again such an incredible
Little
character,
guy.
because he is a bone homunculus.
Very
who
giddy in the
had
ninth.
been controlled by Vereen, and Viv and friends sort of find him partway through the book, and he sort of helps them, but he's unable to help them too much because
Yeah.
of Vereen's magic. And when they defeat Vereen with his help, like he really is the one who like deals the finishing blow to Vereen, because he fucking pulls her into the book of death or whatever.
Literally.
But then he is after that free, like properly free to do what he wants. And that's what he talks about through the whole book, is that what he wants more than anything is the freedom to choose what he does with his time.
Yeah. And he does. He leaves
And then
the bookshop.
again in Fern's note, she's like, I don't know where Satchel's out at now, but I know he's out there like
Living his
out
life.
in the world, and I'm relieved that that he's chosen to do that.
Yeah. Living a life
it's-
a bone homunculus can
yeah.
live.
Yeah.
Just a bag of
It's
bones
really
walking
sweet.
around. But it's like the sweetest thing. It's like every
It
single
is.
character got growth, got what they wanted in the end.
Yeah.
Even if it is years and years later, you find out what happens to them. But it's just like the
Yeah.
sweetest thing. And
Yeah.
it's like,
No, definitely.
it's absolutely the sweetest thing. Oh, and it's like most of the characters had this quiet life, and then Viv was like a disruption to their quiet life. And then it was... I just want to know what happens to Galena as well, because we haven't heard much from Galena's side.
Yeah, because we know that, you know, she ends up in Viv's adventuring party after Rackham's Ravens.
Yeah.
And because she's in Legends and Lattes as well.
Wait, what?
Isn't she?
I don't think so. I don't remember her being in Legends of Lattes.
Are you sure? I'm sure she's in Legends and Lattes.
Hold the fuck on.
I'm getting my copy.
Is she genuine? Oh, she is. She is. She's one of the party members. I had a massive brain fart. Oh, that was
I'm the smart one.
I had a massive brain fart. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. Yes, she is in Legends of Lattes.
So,
I completely...
we know some stuff about what happens with Galena.
And she's still kind of adventuring at the time of Legends of Lattes.
Yeah.
Yes. But then, I really like, after my whole meltdown, that that Viv went away and found her own passion for something before she decided to settle down.
Mm-hmm.
And finding coffee, which love that for you, Viv.
I like that like obviously Bookshops and Bonedust is her discovering reading effectively, right? Like she can read, but she doesn't read. Until Fern sort of gets her into reading. And you get the distinct impression that Viv is like she likes reading, but books are not her passion.
Yeah.
And so I do really appreciate that. You get the impression, though, that she's learned that from Fern.
Yeah.
Because Fern talks about, she's like, a lot of her arc is like, I don't know why I'm still here.
Yeah.
Like, the bookshop is failing. I don't really know what I'm doing here. And over the course of the book, her arc is that she learns that the reason she's there is because she loves books. She loves selling books. She loves that feeling when you hand a book over to somebody and you know that it's the right book for them.
Absolutely.
Which I think we could probably both relate to.
Yeah. I was just sitting here like, oh my god, this isn't literally my job.
And so
It felt so good.
Like that it feels like Viv learned that from Fern.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when she encounters coffee, she's like, this is what I can do.
Yeah.
I can hand somebody a cup of coffee and know that they'll like it and that I did that for them, and that's what like brings Viv joy.
And I'm gonna get this mage who keeps coming into my coffee shop absolutely hooked. So every day he has to have like 18 lattes. Me too.
Anything else on characters? We're still technically on characters.
I'll quickly sound off. Zelia Great Strider, a fucking legend. I absolutely adored her.
Yes.
And her little big mansion.
She's a
famous author.
An author. She's a famous author. She writes these like steamy
moist
romance novels.
Moist
as they call them in Bookshops and Bonedust.
Which I loved.
Which is incredible.
But I hated how Travis Baldree kept going really high pitched and saying, I really liked the moist parts. I was like, oh, please, Travis.
And she, later in the book, Viv and Fern basically go and ask her to come to the bookshop and do like a signing, like an author event. And she's like, I don't know. And then Viv being Viv and just being like really forward persuades her to go.
She just kind of makes fun of her, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you've got a big mansion? Big whoop. And she's like, oh yeah, that's the stuff I need.
It's really sweet. And then towards the end, as just before Viv leaves, they have like a book club meet in the bookshop, and they're going to talk about one of her books, and then she turns up and she's like, well, if you're going to talk about my book, I want to be here and hear what you have to say.
I love that.
It's really nice. I really like that.
Oh, see, whenever I publish one, I'm going to have the audacity and I'm going to do that. I'm going to sit in the corner and look at them. Right in the eyes. But no, I loved her sheer gall and her audacity and her elegance, and she was just beautiful. And her relationship with Satchel. I hope her and Satchel became the best of friends.
Oh, you know they did.
They definitely
Satchel
did.
Satchel is like her number one fucking fan.
Exactly. He's in the back corner making merch. He's making the little drawings.
I do really enjoy how curious he constantly is about what they mean by moist books.
He's just so confused. A little baby. It's so funny. And he just keeps asking. But no.
But then he specifically mentions that he's like, at the end at the book club, he mentions that he has read some of her books and really enjoyed them and looks forward to what she's going to write next. And it's like, oh
okay.
Oh, okay.
He would make a great TikToker.
Oh, I love Satchel.
I hope they have like dinners and lunches together. I hope they're the best of friends.
You know they do.
And I hope...
You know he's going to go visit her.
Exactly. I hope Celia Great Strider, I can't remember the person that works for her that they're totally, making out. And...
Burke.
Mark?
Burke.
Hark?
Burke.
Jesus.
Burke.
I hope all three of them have little dinners together. And they're just cute.
That would be cute.
And he helps her write. And I would love that. And punches everyone who gives bad reviews.
After Viv meets the two of them, like, for a little while, everybody she talks to, she's like, so they must, like...
They must.
You know, because that's where she gets the ideas from, right? And everyone's like, oh, I'm not going to answer that. I'm not going to talk about that.
But they do,
she's
right?
Like, but they must. They
must. Look at that big house. Really There's two of them.
Just the two of them.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Thank you.
Shall we move on to Atmosphere?
Yes, please.
Okay. I also gave Atmosphere a 10.
I gave it a 9. I gave it a 9.
Traitor.
What?
Traitor.
I know. No, I was like, but I want to give it a 10. Wait, can I? Wait, I can't give this a perfect 10, can I? There has to be...
I loved the atmosphere here.
Yeah.
I loved the bookshop vibes. I loved the cozy vibes. I loved the seaside town vibe.
Absolutely. There's a specific
it's
town.
Fantastic.
There's a specific town like an hour away from here that it really reminds me of. For the town, my name is jumping at my head, but I can see it in my head because I stayed at a hotel right by the seaside, and it's like literally like what I picture as. It's like this cozy little seaside sanctuary kind of thing going on. There was just little like bits where I wasn't completely sure where everything was, but that was just a me thing because I have no sense of direction. But I would have loved to hear more about like the port and like the seaside and specifically the water, because they go out on the little rowing boat for their date. Yeah, and I would have loved to hear more about that. But yeah, the vibes were immaculate. Immaculate vibes. Because it felt so lived. And I just love when everything feels lived. Like everyone slots perfectly into this place so well. It's so pure. It's so pretty. It's so pretty.
Yeah. I agree.
Yay.
It's fantastic vibes, as ever. I mean, we knew he was going to give us fantastic vibes.
We knew he was going to hit different, but we didn't know it was going to be this.
I think again, like as a bookseller, all of Fern's stuff about the bookshop and about trying to sell stuff. And,
it's never made me want to open a bookshop.
I'm going to say this because I know that our boss is never going to listen to this, but like a bunch of crap in your bookshop that nobody ever buys, that you can't get rid of.
Carpet that
I understand that
sticks.
relatable too. All of the shit that nobody ever wants.
Yeah, you've got tons of.
So I think that really added to the atmosphere for me because
Absolutely.
I'm like, this is so relatable. Like, I understand this.
Yeah. It's such a cool thing when you work in a bookshop and you see a character you love work in a bookshop. And you're just like, oh my god, wait, that's me. That's so us.
We are all Fern.
Literally. Oh.
We're all Ferns now.
No, except I'm a bit of a pot roast. I just kind of run around.
That's my incredible Soldier 76 impression.
Please, no, provide it again.
No, it's happened now. You'll have to find it when you listen back to the
No, but I'm not going to edit till later. Hate you forever. But yeah, the immaculate vibes. And there's always a dog running around. There's always a dog somehow. And now we get a lot of dogs. We get a lot of dogs
coming into the bookshop,
and they're always so
which
sweet.
Is fantastic.
They're all so sweet and huge or tiny. I'm just describing dogs now.
Yeah. Sometimes they're large.
Sometimes they're small. Sometimes they bark.
Thank goodness you're here.
Oh no. But
okay.
Yeah, no, perfection. Writing style. I
gave it an 8.
In my notes, there's a little section that says writing style / world building, because for some reason I couldn't think which one it was. It's writing style. Okay.
It's writing style.
It's my rating. What was your rating?
Yeah.
Sorry.
An 8.
Mine was a 10 for this.
Okay.
10 for writing style.
I mean, obviously it's good writing. I think it's a definite improvement over Legends and Lattes. A lot of it though didn't like blow me away.
Yeah.
A lot of it's quite basic, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it.
No, I know what you mean. It's
good. It's really strong writing. It just doesn't
every page doesn't count towards like the overall like punch at the end, the story. But like I know I don't know if that's what you mean. But like yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of like fluffy writing. Fluffy. Yeah. So it's like comfy writing, but that doesn't blow you away every page. But there's certain pages that just hit in a certain way. But like to get to that, you use this kind of like comfy writing, which is also really good. Which I like. Yeah. Yes. 100%.
Yes, it's good writing, and it is, like you say, it's like cozy and comfy. It just doesn't do anything that's like mind-blowing.
Yeah. It's very, very chill, and I like that a lot. And you can see development as well, really well, through the story. Which we mentioned earlier really passionately. Yeah.
Great.
I'm looking at my writing style notes like, I already talked about this.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, a lot of this is stuff I've already said.
Oops. This might be a boring episode. This might be a really shit episode. Like,
plot.
we loved it. Move on to plot, yeah.
Yeah. I gave it a 9.
I'm pretty sure I gave it... Oh, yep. I gave it a 10.
Yeah, it was a very good plot. I liked the arc. I liked Viv's. I liked the like story arc of the whole shit with Vareen. And I liked all of the individual sort of character plots that were sort of going in within that as well.
Liked the builder that suddenly became a poet. I loved him.
Yes.
Who was so cool.
Potts.
Yep.
Potts, is that his name?
Potts?
It's not Potts, is it?
No, I don't think so. Anyway, it's another orc guy who
Pitts.
Sorry?
It's Pitts.
Pitts. Yeah, another orc guy that helps mend Fern's door, and as a repayment she gives him a book of poetry. Or like he snatches a book and says, "This'll do it," and leaves, and then suddenly at the end of the book is reciting his own poetry.
Yeah, I like that bit where he like says a poem, and Fern has read all of the books in her bookshop. She's like, I don't recognise that one, and he just doesn't say anything. And it's like, oh, he wrote it himself.
He did it himself. That man better become like a world-class poet.
Yeah,
he better have, because it's just, they were so sweet, and he loved Fern so much that actually like getting all up in the main story, and he was just like a little side, little potting around, and then suddenly, oh yeah, Fern made such an impact on him.
Yeah,
and it was just so sweet. He better. Him, Zelia, and goddamn Satchel better become like the trio of kind of like literature in the world.
Aww.
In the world, because they're
Yeah,
just
I like
the sweetest.
the idea of Satchel writing a book. That
Yeah.
would be cute.
He could write a travel novel.
Oh, yes!
And
I
that'd be
need this
perfect for
now.
Fern's Bookshop. Yeah, absolutely.
That would be
That
incredible.
would be so cute. Oh. But yeah, the side characters hit different. I know this is not the characters part again, but still, they hit different, and it's a very character driven book.
Yes.
So I get to talk about it here.
It is.
It's very, and they're all just so sweet. They're all just so sweet.
Yeah. The only reason I bumped it down to a 9
Yeah.
is
True.
because I felt like the Vereen plot stuff ended quite abruptly.
I agree.
Right? It's like, oh, she's in the bookshop, oh no, and then it's just suddenly it's like, oh, she's been defeated, okay.
Yeah.
And I was just a bit like, I feel like there could be just a smidge more there.
Yeah. It's just purely because she didn't seem like much of a threat until like the last 10%.
Yeah. Which is like fine because it's a cozy fantasy. You don't want constant threat in the background.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the way it felt like she was too easy to deal with.
Yeah. I did love how she went out because she died because of her own kind of greed of her wanting the book back.
Yeah.
I love that.
But,
It's
like,
very
she-
poetic, but
There are 6 pages. Right? Like she is there for 6 pages, like physically there. It is within 6 pages that she is like like Viv goes to the bookshop, she's there, she's got Galena and Fern captive, and within 6 pages she is dealt with. And to me that just felt like a bit too it's done.
yeah. It could have used an extra chapter maybe of her
Yeah,
being
like that's not even a whole chapter, right? Like one of the chapters starts with Viv turning up at the bookshop and she's got them captured.
Uh-huh.
But Vereen is defeated
in the next chapter. By the end of it.
No, she's defeated before, like, before you're, done with that chapter. It's just like, it's a bit like,
Yeah. It could have worked if she held the town hostage, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. It
'Cause,
just
like, the
didn't
bells
feel
were
like
ringing.
it was like... Yeah.
Which means that there was like
It
an
just
invasion.
felt a little bit too rushed.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that completely. It would have been a little bit more oomph, a bit more of a final battle, kind of to round it off. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, up to that point, there's been a lot of, like, they keep finding things that suggest that she's coming.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they find her symbol in various places and they're like, oh shit, she is coming to this town. That is dangerous. And then she comes and it's, like, barely anything and then she's dealt with and it's done. And it was just a bit like, okay.
Yeah. Because, like,
But-
I loved little Viv's fucked up little dreams and stuff to do with her as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And
after
yeah.
Viv pulls a sword out of Vereen's special book.
Which
and then
I
while
love that's
Viv
how they
has
get
the
the
sword,
sword.
she keeps having these like nightmares about Vereen. Which is actually it's Vereen like reaching into Viv's mind to find out about her and to get her stuff back.
Yeah.
And yes, that is then the sword that Viv has at Legends of Lattes, isn't it?
Yeah,
I believe.
that is.
Which is nice.
And that's the one that gets destroyed in the fire.
Yeah.
It's so much. I just loved. I was like, oh my god! I got so excited.
Yeah, it's like adds like an extra element to that stuff in Legends of Lattes.
Yeah. I remember the sword more than I remembered Galena.
The creepy dreams she was having, and I liked how while she had the sword and was having the creepy dreams, she was also like acting slightly out of character.
Yeah.
Right, like she was like distracted with Melee, and she was a bit cold with Melee and stuff, and it was like I liked that was having an effect on her. But yeah, it just felt slightly too easy at the end of it. But other than that, like, incredible. I think the plot was well done. It's really difficult. One of the hardest things I think about a cozy fantasy novel is weaving a plot through it, because you've got to be
Yeah.
real careful, because too much and it stops feeling cozy, but too little and it feels unthreatening. And for the most part, I think Travis Baldree does a really good job in this and in Legends and Lattes. But yeah, I just felt like it was a bit too easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially because, like, you've got... It would have been good to see more of the kind of, like, oh shit, she's coming, let's plan. Kind of thing. Even though I did love the Satchel reveal that he was in the book. And that he killed him. And he came out, he popped his little head out like, hi guys. His little eyeless skull.
Half of Satchel was in the book.
Yeah.
Because they deliberately left some of his bones in his bag so that Vereen would be like, oh cool, Satchel's there. Like, I don't need to worry.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that was smart.
Done something
I like
weird
that.
with him. And then his front half, everything from his legs up, he was in the book and he like pulls Vereen in. I liked the way they dealt with her. It just felt like it happened too quickly.
Very easy. I wish there was like more of a fight between her and Viv.
Yeah.
Like show Viv's kind of like fighting prowess that you see in the prologue.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And maybe have like a moment where Vereen shows that she has some level of control over the sword, even while Viv is holding it, or something. You know?
Oh, absolutely! Like she can stop it, like slashing her and stuff. Absolutely,
just like a bit of combat before the whole thing with the book. I think would have been good
for sure. Yeah, absolutely. That would have been really good, actually. Yeah. Anything else about plot?
Nope. That is all good.
All good. Intrigue.
I gave it a 10.
I gave it a 10 as well.
I did not put the book down either of the times I've read it. Both times
Same.
I've been like absorbed in it. The most recent time I was at work, it was really quiet, and so I just sat and read it.
Nice.
I read my book, I finished it. I tried not to cry too much because I was working. It was like 4:30, nobody was coming into the bookshop, so I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to finish Bookshops and Bonedust again.
Same, but I didn't really at work, sadly. I luckily I quickly tried to get I got a NetGalley approval for both the fucking audiobook, and it kept going on drives to like finish it because I couldn't just like sit there and listen.
Yeah, no, I can't listen to an audiobook just like while I'm not doing anything.
Yeah,
I need to
so
be,
I kept
like,
going out for
either
coffee,
walking somewhere or driving somewhere, or just yeah.
I kept going for coffee. My coffee bill racked up during this time. So it was uni, coffee, but the first time I read it in the house, I picked it up, couldn't put it down. It got so loud in my house, I walked, and I just took it with me, and was flicking through it, and finished it on that. Finished it, it was beautiful, and I was crying on the street.
Yeah.
And
I don't have any notes on Intrigue. It was just...
Me neither. I was just like, oh dear God, I need to stop buying so much coffee.
And like the first time I read it, it was the same. Like I picked it up and then read it and then was finished.
Yeah. I was like I kept making like plans during the time when I was reading the audiobook, so I would drive to my friend's house half an hour early so I could sit in my car and keep listening to it. JJ, if you listen to this, no, I didn't do this.
No,
I would never...
He's lying to you.
I would never do this. You didn't see me. Ever.
I think, in fact, the first time I read it in May, I had a again, my boss isn't going to listen to this, it's fine. I'd had a job interview at a different bookshop that morning, and I was going home past the bookshop, and I got a text from my partner who was in the bookshop that day being like, hey, the proof's here, and I went in and got the proof and went home with it. And then I think it took me like a couple of days. Oh no, I read it and finished it that same day. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, and you messaged me like, Eve, you gotta read it.
Yeah.
Go into the bookshop right now. Go.
I did the same thing with Legends and Lattes though. Legends and Lattes came in, I went home with it after work, and then within like, I think I read it in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I remember
It
putting
was
a thing in like our bookshop
beautiful.
group chat, being like, so I finished it, and everyone was like, wait, what?
Because I'd gotten the arc of Legends and Lattes for the UK.
Oh, so
the
you did, yeah.
The
You
UK
got a digital arc, yeah.
Yeah, the UK version came out a year after the US arc, by the way, for people listening. But I got a digital arc. I read it, and then I kept we were on the same shifts, and I kept looking at you, and then looking at my phone and reading it when it wasn't busy, and being like, "You're gonna love this."
Yeah, there were times where I was just like, "You're reading Legends and Lattes again, aren't you?"
I was like, "Shut up!" I read it twice in front of you, like I'd finished
Which is
it.
fair enough.
It was really funny to me.
It is a fantastic book.
It's so good.
Bookshops and Bonedust is also good. I will say, Bookshops and Bonedust, it is a prequel. Still read Legends and Lattes first.
Yes, because you'll get more.
I think
enjoyment.
some people who haven't read either one might get tempted to like, read them chronologically or whatever. Don't.
I think it's better
don't.
if you read the Legends and Lattes first, absolutely, because there's little bits in here that'll rock your world once you know the context. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Logic?
Logic, I also gave a 10.
I gave Logic a 9. I had problems with like.
I didn't have any issues with the Logic.
I was just thinking I would like
go
more
ahead.
description of Varine's magic and stuff. It's purely a me thing of like, I want to know how you're doing this. Tell me everything.
You like the nitty gritty of a.
I do. I can't write it for shit, but I love to know. But I loved all the magical items. I would have loved if we could see more of the magical items that were in there, because I liked the tome being like a holder of many things, kind of like D&D bag thing. I really liked that, including Viv's sword. Oh my god. But yeah, I would have liked to see more of the magic. But also, I realized I made a note of I would have liked to see more skeleton battles. There's bound to be more homunculuses, right? Mm-hmm. Not just Satchel.
Well, yeah, because
Satchel could have had a little fight,
right? When Varine turns up, Viv and Satchel go into the city to get the book back from
they do like
the warden lady that they left it with, and they like fight through some skeletons to get there.
Yeah, but I would have loved if like one made it to the
would have been
bookshop, like a couple in the bookshop to kind of like back Varine up and not just her by herself. But that's the only qualm.
Yeah,
that's it. Otherwise,
that's fair.
Phenomenal. Loved it.
Phenomenal. Anyway. Okay. Last category. Enjoyment.
10.
10 out of 10. Yeah.
Yep.
That's an easy one.
Yep.
My only note here is we all knew this. That's what I've written.
It's self-explanatory.
Yeah.
This is
we all
shock
knew we
horror.
were going to enjoy this book. Yeah.
Yep. What if
I don't know what to say.
We
loved it.
just for tension.
To
one.
The previous 40 odd minutes of this podcast. We don't really need to go into detail here. We loved it.
We loved it. Go read it right now.
It makes you cry because it's heartbreaking, but in a really nice way. But also in a really sad way. But also it's happy, but also it's sad.
Yeah. It makes you want to open a bookshop so badly.
Oh god.
So badly. It didn't help with the need of like, I kind of want to open a bookshop. Oh no.
Look, it's fine. It's going to happen one day. I'm going to open a bookshop.
It's going to happen. It's going to... Good.
And you can come and work there if you've not got another job.
Was that supposed to mean? Is it you firing?
I just mean like,
firing me?
I'm saying I would hire you if you needed a job, but I'm not gonna stand in the way of another career.
Okay, fine. I won't work at your bookshop. No, hell yeah. Hell
yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's because I keep spending all my money on books.
Okay. Well, now you'll get to spend money on stock and take home stock whenever you want.
Oh, I thought you meant stock as in like the stock market. And I was like, what? And then I realized you were talking about like stock for the
invest
bookshop.
in the stock market.
Don't turn me into one of them fucking cishet white men who do the stock market.
So this podcast is slowly going to morph into kind of like a cis hitman, like alpha male stock market advert. Yeah, exactly. This is what it's going to become.
Oh,
Hearth and Tome is over. Only man stock market
from here on out. The numbers are
Let's
going
invest.
up, I think.
I don't know what's going up, what's coming down. I can't.
I don't understand. Numbers
I don't know
mean
what's
anything.
happening. I don't even know what the hell it is. I'm too confused to ask now.
I'm fairly sure it's just entirely fucking made up.
Probably.
I mean, money's made up, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Exactly. Anyway, we loved it. Please go read it. I need a million more novellas and books. Travis Baldree, please never stop writing, otherwise I will break down. This is keeping me going.
Speaking of more books, should we recommend some similar books?
Yes, absolutely.
I think the first one here is very obvious. Legends
and Lattes
by Travis Baldree. If somehow you read Bookshops and Bonedust first, go read Legends and Lattes right the fuck now.
Yeah. Literally. And if you didn't like this, what the hell is wrong with you? Go away, get better taste.
Yeah, let's face it, if you're the sort of person who didn't like this book, you're probably not listening to this podcast.
Oh yeah, no, fair enough. And you will not read any of the other books we prattle off right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Good riddance.
Yeah.
To people who never hear in the first place. Oh, perfect. Yeah, Legends and Lattes. God. Perfection, coffee, cozy, galore. Go read it. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll jump right in with my next one, which is A Sam for the Well Built by Becky Chambers. Actually, just Becky Chambers. Specifically,
Becky Chambers, yep. That's
my favourite A Sam for the Wild Built is my favourite Becky Chambers. So, go the cozy tea sales monk, adorable, cross the country kind of exploring, very Satchel vibe. Now that I've said earlier that he could do a travel novel, if you want him to do a travel novel, it's the Sam for the Wild Built.
Effectively, yeah. Sam for the Wild Built is a tea monk and a robot going on a road trip together.
Best friends. And maybe cry.
Trying to determine what it means to have purpose.
Yeah. Oh, it hurts.
Yeah.
It gave me a crisis. It was great.
Oh yeah, beautiful book.
But yeah, all of Becky Chambers
fucking
anyway.
Incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, absolutely.
I will say Can't Spell Treason Without Tea by Rebecca Thorne. We did an episode on it. I liked it. Eve didn't like it as much.
Yeah. I would still recommend
it's cozy fantasy also. It's good, yeah.
And you could listen to our episode. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, go read that and then listen to our episode.
Because, we won't have another episode out until February, so if you really want to hear more of us, go read the stuff we've already
you're
read.
Be starved for book club content.
Exactly.
Except for all of the other content that we might have coming out. But you won't have another book club until late February.
Exactly.
So.
It's going to be weird. You're going to miss us. Okay.
Yeah.
Blowing wind up our own sails a little bit, but
Just a smidge.
Just a smidge. We're great.
Okay, hit me with another recommendation, Eve.
Oh, okay. A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. The new book for her series just came out now, which is A Fragile Threads of Power. A Darker Shades of Magic is parallel universe London's magic galore. In the second book, there's a magical contest. In the first book, it's kind of like magic is disappearing from one world. It destroyed a London, and it's kind of the people that can go between the worlds and the kind of shenanigans they get up to and the kind of consequences for like interdimensional smuggling is how I'd describe it. It's very fun. I don't know, but it just gave me...
those books.
They're very good. You'd love them. and
Yeah.
no one's
It's
straight.
been on my I'm going to get these at some point list for a while.
You
but
can borrow my copies.
I'll get to them.
I have an extra copy of Fragile Threads. You can have it if you want.
Great.
There you go. Incentive. The sequel series before the original trilogy.
Flawless plan.
Flawless. Couldn't go wrong.
Yes.
You got one? You got another one?
Yes. We've said Becky Chambers. Oh,
Yep.
Cursed Cocktails by S.L.
Yes.
Rowland.
That was my next one. Yes.
Also cozy fantasy, but this time about a cocktail bar. Very, very similar to Legends and Lattes. Very similar to Legends and Lattes, but good.
Yeah.
And enjoyable, and I would recommend it.
It was very good. I really liked it.
But fair warning, and we've also got an episode on that one.
Yeah, it is very.
But fair
copy-paste.
warning, it does legitimately have an everyone clapped moment.
Yeah, there's a Wattpad trope in there.
I'm warning you now so that you can prepare for the cringe.
Yeah.
Because it's bad.
Yeah. But otherwise, the
that
book's
moment,
good.
not the book.
Not
the
the
book.
book. The book.
Yeah.
The book is good. But
The
book is good.
I do a Muppets
Absolutely. Oh, we've switched from book club to the stock market to the Muppets.
podcast. In true ADHD
Literally.
fashion.
You'll find out, dear listener, next year what we stick with. I wonder what it could be.
What's gonna stick? Is it the Muppets? Are we a man or are we?
I thought you were gonna go because you went RR. I thought you were going her. Are we a man or are we a Muppet in
No.
the style of Five Nights at Freddy's? Sorry.
God. Let's
Move
move on.
I was about to go into in a similar vein. You should, but it's kind of. You should go.
I've
Yeah,
ruined it.
you've ruined it. Can't believe you've done this to me.
Yeah, I often do. I ruined everything.
Aww. Apart from Travis Baldree, there's nothing you can do to ruin this book because it's beautiful.
That's because I've not touched him yet.
Travis, come on the podcast.
Yeah. But also come and physically meet me so I can shake your hand and ruin your life.
Please. You're going to be so creeped out by how fast we're going to burst into tears.
He already is. He's already creeped out by us.
Yay.
We're sorry, Travis. We're influencers now.
I'll just...
This has gone so far off the rails. I'm so sorry.
It's the last episode of the year. It's allowed to.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'm going to quickly jump into the next recommendation before you give yourself a panic attack. A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher, which we've also read 2 months ago, which we also have an episode out.
Good shout.
I adored that book, and it's about baking. It's about high stakes army invading a little town, and is it 13-year-old little Nona? No, 14?
14? 13?
Something like that. 14-year-old baker who can animate bread and has a sourdough starter familiar who has to save the entire town from a guy that's killing off all magicker users, and it was my highest rated book until this book today.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I've run out of recommendations.
Okay, I've got 3 more.
Because you suggested.
Oh,
it.
brill. I'm just great.
Just go ahead.
Okay.
Rattle through.
Okay. Get ready, cracks knuckles. The Sad Ghost Club by Liz Meddings. I hope that's how you pronounce their name.
Yeah.
The most adorable
That's a good
graphic
idea.
novel
I love
ever. Deals with mental health and making friends and knowing that you're not alone in the universe, and it's just the sweetest thing ever. And if you like this, you'll like that. And it's a graphic novel. It's 100 pages. You'll get it through it so fast, and there's 4 of them, and it's one of my favorite graphic novel series to date. It's fantastic.
They're really cute, and also all of the characters are little bedsheet ghosts.
Yeah, and they've all got such non-binary names, like socks. And it's the cutest thing ever. None of them have genders. It's great. Not even the frog.
Wait, is there a 4th volume out?
I think so.
I thought there were only 3.
I might be wrong. Because one came out in March.
Yeah,
there's only three. Okay,
so
never
far.
mind.
Yeah.
It's because I know it came out the day before my birthday and I got really excited and ordered it.
Yeah, that would have been volumes for me.
Yeah, no, that would do it. But yeah, no, it's really cute. And there's a little frog called Frederick.
It's very cute.
He's a baby. He's a little baby.
Yeah, we love
Frederick.
Frogs.
Another graphic novel recommendation: The Teague Dragon Society. I've not written down the author's name, but I've mentioned them before.
Kay
O'Neill,
O'Neill.
thank you.
Cannot believe I just pulled
I'm
that out of my arse,
so
but it's true.
proud of you. It is very D&D inspired tea dragon, like farm sanctuary. Dragons grow tea on their back, and it's about two queer couples and their experiences with these tea dragons. I cannot say anything else, otherwise I will spoil the entire thing. But it's very much...
It's also three volumes. As well.
And they've got a bunch of more stuff set in like a similar kind of cozy vein that you can read. They're perfect. My last one.
Yeah.
The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern.
Of course.
Because it has no plot, only vibe. Only secret society under the ground. Only book inside of a book. Pure, immaculate vibes. Prophecies. Gay people. It's so cute and I adored it. And I think if you like Legends of Lattes, you will like that. They're the similar kind of like vibe. No plot, only vibe kind of thing. I really like it. Well, there is plot, but it's mainly vibe. But yeah, that's my recommendations to edit. My be-all, end-all recommendations to end the year. Oh,
yes,
I don't want to think about that.
Everything.
Don't want to think about that.
Yep. So,
yeah.
Where are we? So this is Bookshops and Bonedust.
Yeah.
So that means we have, by the time this episode goes out, this will be the last episode for this year. Mm-hmm. We have one more episode in this season of Hearth and Tome. That will be coming out in January. That will be the 23rd of January. And that's going to be like our 2023 reading roundup.
Yes.
Of where
2023.
we talk about all of the stuff we've read in 2023.
Yeah.
So we'll be going beyond just the books we've read for this book club. We'll be talking about everything.
Yeah.
You know, what we liked, didn't like, all that good shit. And then in February, we will be starting season 2 of Hearth and Tome.
Yeah. So keep an eye out
for Talking in the Tavern and book clubs.
Heck yeah. So keep an eye out for any posts that come out on any of our social media asking for book recommendations or anything that comes out saying what we're going to be reading and any other announcements that is going to be made about season 2 of Hearth and Tome. Very exciting.
Yes, because
Crazy.
we've got some ideas, but we are sort of struggling a little bit to come up with stuff to read next year. So
so there will be a bunch of stuff being put out. Hopefully.
Yeah, so please feel free to get in touch with us through various social medias and suggest things.
Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid to shoot us a DM on any platform if you want to. This is not a requirement. We're not going to make you. Iron Flame.
Yeah, and so long as the suggestion is not a book that's like really long.
Yeah, mainly under 500 pages.
Books that are like, give or take, because otherwise it's just too much of a fuck.
But we're pretty much open to pretty much
possible, anything. New books ideal because then it's less likely that one of us will have already read it.
Exactly. But yeah.
Yes.
And also remember to go check out our blooper reel that just came out.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
that
on the 5th of December. Ago. Yes, it will have been 2 weeks ago.
Although you might pick up on some bloopers that were in this episode that you'll be able to tell because we sound certain ways.
Yeah, because it hasn't come out yet.
Because of the magic of recording.
This is 2 weeks before it comes out.
Some time travel happening. Yeah.
At the current moment. But when this is out, it's going to be 2 weeks after. The magic of sound design.
Crazy.
So weird.
Yeah, insane.
We're revealing our secrets.
Yeah, so I guess then thank you for joining us here at the tavern in 2023.
Woo!
This is it. Next time you hear our voices, it will be 2024.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Yeah?
How the fuck does that happen?
I don't know. It's almost a full... It'll be... Next year it'll almost be a full year of Hearth and Tome. That's something like midway
in
through.
like March or April.
Yeah. I think it's April, yeah.
April, yeah.
April, yeah.
Yeah, very weird. So, Eve, where can our listeners find you outside of the podcast?
Well, if you want to see my darling little face, you can find me at Cozy Crow with an S on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, all under Cozy Crow. Phoenix, where can we find you outside the podcast?
I am on Twitter, Threads, and Instagram at Beans and Fungi. Nice and simple.
Yay.
I don't tick the talks.
You don't do the tickety talks?
So don't bother following me there because there is nothing to see.
It's a blank page.
It is. It's just empty.
There's nothing there. No.
And make sure, of course, that you follow the podcast. We are on Instagram at Hearth and Tome Pod, Twitter at Hearth and Tome, and TikTok at hearth.and.tome. And you'll get, updates about when we've got episodes coming out, behind the scenes stuff, random other crap, clips, all that good shit. And also occasionally us being like, please suggest books for us to read.
Exactly. Or just me making little
But
faces.
if you're on
and being
TikTok,
weird.
you better be fucking careful about what you suggest because we hate most book talk books.
Yes, very popular TikTok
So
books we will
I'm
not
talking
be reading.
to you, TikTok. Behave.
Behave. Do not make us read Iron Flame. Please.
I mean, you could try, but we'll just say no.
We'll just say no. We're not contractually obligated.
Yeah.
We're here of our own
Fuck
volition,
you.
man. But yeah.
Yeah, for some reason we chose to do this.
Yeah. You're welcome.
What can I say except
you're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to this season of the Hearth and Home podcast. And hopefully we will...
Yeah, thank you for joining us this year.
It's been
Incredible.
great. And hopefully...
Can you believe it's like 9
9
months of this now?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
This is our baby.
Yeah. We created a child. A little guy.
We've just birthed a podcast.
We've carried this person for 9 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now we're putting it out into the world.
Yeah. Congrats.
And letting it live on its own.
Yeah.
This is our
We're empty
announcement. We're
nesters.
both retiring from Hearth and Home.
Next season, we're just going to be 2 different voices, but the same names.
It's just going to be an hour of silence every episode.
It's just going to be the like the crinkle of the fire in the background of the episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Just for an hour. You're welcome,
But at least
guys.
you won't have to listen to my clickety-clackety keyboard or my creaky chair anymore.
You don't have to listen to my little snorts and me drinking water, like glugging water this entire time. Look.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's a joy always.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
for
for
coming
listening.
along with us this year.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next year.
Yeah. See you in 2024 for
And
our
have a nice
roundup.
have a nice, Christmas, everybody.
And holiday
Or
for people
if
who
you don't celebrate Christmas, then just have a nice winter
December.
holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see you next
December.
year.
Bye.
Bye.
Music used within this episode was Midnight Tale by Kevin MacLeod through Incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license.